last time.
Here, let me just send it to you. Because you can download it. Here you go.
Paul,
Yes.
what did these pop into last as? They're not showing up on this computer.
Hang on.
Here's something called Inspire HR.
Yeah, this is yours. So yeah, but I've got it now. So.
As well as stars,
pain in the ass to
galaxies,
get
and
connected.
quasars, Gaia also observes objects in our
They don't
solar
show up.
system,
It's not showing up.
measuring their positions and brightnesses at different times. By far the largest group
Paul,
of
what
solar
machine
system
did you have
objects
these
in
connected
Gaia's
to?
Data Release 3 are 154,741 asteroids, for which Gaia has determined the orbits. Depending on their orbits, one can distinguish different groups of asteroids. Most of the asteroids are in the main belt, between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. Over a period of about 10,000 years, Jupiter's powerful gravity can perturb an asteroid's path so strongly that some of them become Mars crossers. Do you notice another group that is around the distance of Jupiter? They are the so-called Trojans. They are collected in two clusters, preceding and following the giant planet, but never getting close to it. If we move beyond the orbit of Neptune, we find trans-Neptunian objects. Gaia observed the brightest 24 members of this population. Let's now focus again on the internal regions of the solar system. Back in the inner solar system, we find objects that come close to the Earth and sometimes cross its orbit. They were brought to the inner solar system from the main belt due to gravitational perturbations by Jupiter and other planets. Due to close encounters with the terrestrial planets, the orbits of near-Earth asteroids reach large inclinations with respect to the Earth's orbit and can also come very close to the Sun, where they experience strong heating. None of the known near-Earth objects is a danger to Earth in the coming decades, but it is very important to determine their orbits precisely. We now move close to the Earth and observe this group of 446 near-Earth asteroids. Finally, we move into the main belt and see many of the 153,220 asteroids passing by.
Scott, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Kent's having still a little bit of technical difficulties.
Oh, that's
here,
okay.
so when he's over with that, we'll get him on here.
All right.
So it's just
Right.
you and me.
Yeah,
here.
I'm good. I been busy today working on web pages. We've been thinking about the eclipses that are coming up, the 2023 and the 2024 eclipses. We've got some cool products coming up for those eclipses, of course, staple items like eclipse glasses and all of that are part of it. But we've got over the lens uh, filters for telescopes. But the big and the most important part of an eclipse, if you're using gear, is having something that's safe. You definitely need the latest ISO approved everything. And so we've been working very closely with people that are in the know. We have to, more than maybe other companies have to do, we have to have all the certification from the ISO safety testing, all that documentation that we have to have. But in addition to that, our Eclipse glasses also go into mass market. And when you're in mass market, actually things have to be tested even further. And so, we test for, our mass market partners to verify they're absolutely, as safe as we claim them to be. Okay, so, you can't just throw an ISO safety rated stamp on something. You actually have to prove it. So we go through at least 2 layers of this kind of testing, and it's expensive to do, when you're getting prepared for it, but it's all worth it in the end, I think. So
Hey, Scott.
we have an Eclipse expedition called Crossroads of the Eclipse's Star Party. This is going to be in hill country of Texas, and we're going to be there in the same place for the 2023 and the 2024 eclipses. The 2023 eclipse is going to be a annular eclipse that will happen in October. I think it's October 14th. And then I believe it's April 8th, 2024 is the total eclipse, where you can see the totality effect and the diamond ring effect and see the corona and all the rest of it without, really using eclipse glasses when you're in that total, totality segment of the eclipse. But for all the rest of it, yeah, you got to have eclipse glasses. And so that's an important thing. So, or there's other ways to watch it too. You can project it. I saw people projecting the image of an eclipse onto a white card using a binocular. I would not use expensive binoculars for this because as the light passes through a binocular, sometimes the eyepieces of a binocular are cemented. Okay, so you have a multi-lens element eyepiece. And in fact, I got like an eyepiece right here. This shows the interior of like one of our, argon purged glass, eclipse, or not eclipse glasses, but eyepieces. And you see this lens right here. It's actually 2 lenses, and it's cemented together. Okay. When you project light, and actually that top lens right there too, and this particular eyepiece has also got a cemented doublet. When the light rays pass through an eyepiece, okay, like the sun, it will focus also as it's coming down. And as it comes down and gets more focus, what does that mean? It's going to get hot, okay? And you can boil away the lens elements or the cement between the lens elements there. And so, if you're going to use the technique of projecting the sun through a pair of binoculars, a lot of times you're going to have a couple or 3 elements that might be all cemented together. And as it gets hot, it will boil and make little bubbles in the cement, and then kind of that binocular's toast. So people that do that will hold a white card. They'll aim the binoculars at the sun. It'll project onto the card. They'll adjust the distance until they see a good focus, and then, but they won't leave it on there for a long time, okay? A few seconds or whatever, just to check the phase, and then they blow it away. If you are going to set up a rig where you got maybe your binoculars mounted on a tripod, you have a card mounted on something so that you can project like that, use inexpensive binoculars to do it with. You don't need real high-end binoculars to do that, because you just might fry them. This is also true on telescopes when you're doing eyepiece projection through a telescope. There are some eyepieces that do not have any cemented elements in there, and that will help you out as far as projecting the image of the sun as well, but without boiling away cemented lens elements. So yeah, and then the other way to do it is to use, what I did during the 2017 eclipse, is I went out and I bought a colander. Okay, something like you're draining you throw in your vegetables, you wash them under a sink, and they drain out. All those little round holes can be used to project the sun onto a white card, and you can see multiple images of the sun. And again, you can see what phase your total eclipse is going to be. But you hit totality. You don't use solar filters anymore. None of this stuff. You're just looking at it, and so that's the deal.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah.
Wanted to jump in just to be clear. When it is an annular eclipse, you have to use your eclipse glasses the entire time.
All time.
Right.
Yeah, because it's not a total eclipse. It's not a total eclipse.
You're going to get a ring.
It's a type of partial eclipse, because you got the sun all the way around.
You're going to get a ring.
Okay?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I have a picture when we were up for the 2017 eclipse. Clint was using his hands to make a tiny little hole, and that was enough to project an image on the shadow of your hands on the ground. Just anything that makes a tiny little hole will project a wonderful image of the sun. And the colander, I was going to mention the colander too, but colander works, and it makes an array on the ground. It's every little hole projects a sun. So under trees, Scott, is another way. You don't realize that when you see that dappled sunlight under a tree,
got a little hole where scattered light is coming through.
That dappled light is literally just single images of the sun, round, overlapped. Well, when the eclipse starts, it shows the eclipse on the ground. And I don't remember which eclipse it was, but back when I was a kid, it happened, and Dad pointed it out, and it was very cool to see that, on the ground.
So if you guys look at your screens, you'll see Pekka was talking about.
Yeah, I see Pekka, and I see Connor Bradley has a question. So let's talk a little bit to our viewing.
Pekka says, I was projecting sun onto the ceiling with my small refractor, and suddenly there was smoke coming from the diagonal. These cheap plastic stuff don't manage a temperature of a couple of 1,000 degrees Celsius.
No.
So it may not be that hot, Pekka, in the eyepiece, but you cook a hot dog with them, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Pekka, send us the video.
And wood plaque or something with it.
Definitely send us the video, Pekka.
You're basically making a solar furnace, so.
Yeah.
Let's see. Connor Bradley says, "Hello. How is things? Is the 8.8 Explore Scientific 82-degree a good eyepiece for DSO viewing?" Connor, depends on what kind of DSO you're talking about. An 8.8 millimeter eyepiece is typically a higher power eyepiece. Okay, and so also I don't know what telescope you're using it on. Is it a short focal length telescope? It's a long focal length telescope, because that's all going to affect magnification and the exit pupil that's coming out of the eyepiece. But if you're in dark skies, you have a large aperture telescope, let's say 6 inches or larger, okay? You are trying to observe something faint, you typically push the magnification down. So, okay, thanks, Connor. f6 Dobsonian 8-inch. So that's a 48-inch 48-inch focal length. Let's just do run the numbers here. Connor, do you have dark skies? Let's see what he comes back with. .48 times 25.4. So you get 1,219 millimeters of focal length, okay? You have I think that was an 8-inch f6, right? 8-inch f6. So that's 203 millimeters. And let's say that your eye will dilate to 6 millimeters. So you divide that by 6. And the magic magnification for your fully dilated eye, if your eye will dilate to 6 millimeters, is about 34 magnification. So then you take 1219 and you divide that by 34, and that eyepiece, that magic eyepiece that gives you that 6 millimeter exit pupil on your telescope, would be a 36 millimeter eyepiece. So you find something that's close to that. Okay, maybe a 32. You could even go to a 40, which is a little bit too much. Or too low of magnification, but it's not a deal breaker here. Okay.
So what Scott's doing here is you're trying to see really faint stuff, and he's calculating to make the exit pupil out of the eyepiece exactly the diameter of your pupil. So
right.
As opposed to a wider field eyepiece where the light is spread out and you can look around in the eyepiece like an 82-degree series, you can look around in there on a lot of eyepieces. He's working to get all the light going directly into the pupil.
With 82, with the 8.8, now you're talking about apparent field and looking around. That's also different, okay?
Right.
But for deep sky observing, what I like to have is an arsenal of about 3 eyepieces, okay? That's in the lower power ranges. Because a lot of people don't live, okay, you say Bordeaux class 7. All right, so you got a lot of light pollution. To help you out, Connor, pushing magnification up is important, but you need to push it up to the point where the background sky looks just slightly darker than your deep sky object. Because as you increase magnification, the background sky, if you go from the lowest possible power, okay, which might be that 36 millimeter eyepiece or whatever, and you just look at the background sky in a light polluted area versus you throw in now a 20 millimeter, a little bit more magnification, the sky looks a little bit darker, versus a 14, it looks darker still, versus an 8.8, looks darker still, versus a 4, and it looks a lot darker, okay? So, but you also have diminishing return. Let's say that we're looking at a tight star cluster, like a globular star cluster, pretty bright in the core, all right? So you start to sneak up on how dark can you make your sky look versus how bright the object maintains, okay? See, there's no one magic eyepiece here. I keep talking about the magic eyepiece, but there is no one magic eyepiece, and the reason why is because sky conditions change, all right? Your Bortle 7 might be a Bortle 7.5 one night, might be a Bortle 8, might be a Bortle 6, depending on sky transparency, okay? So your sky transparency is weather dependent, you know, and you know, maybe one of your neighbors turns off a light, you know, that particular night or whatever, and now it looks a lot darker to you. So, you know, you have to have various eyepieces to get to the right magnification. Some of my friends who are real fanatics in visual observations have 20 or 30 different eyepieces. And they're always looking for the next eyepiece. It's not because they're crazy about eyepieces, it's because it's like a painter trying to find the right paintbrush to do the job, you know? And it's exactly like that. Okay.
All right, so Connor says, thanks for the answer.
Yep. We're going to talk about, let's see. I've been interested. And Connor, I did a video called, it's like Guide to Selecting Eyepieces. I'll find it and put it in the chat here for you to watch here. But it's about, I think it's an 11-minute video or something. But I go through all the math. I go through all the selection process. I talk about light pollution. I talk about seeing conditions, and things that will allow you to start to pick the right kind of eyepieces. This is not brand dependent. Okay, this isn't like an Explore Scientific only solution. All right, this works with any brand of eyepieces, any type. You select your telescope, your focal length, your aperture, and then you start working with your eyepieces. Other considerations is, does the eyepiece have long enough eye relief for you? Does it give you enough apparent field for you to do averted vision? Okay, that's a technique where you don't stare right at your deep sky object, but you look away from it slightly, and you do see more things. Being really relaxed is a big deal. If you're going to go deep sky observing, don't drink alcohol. Okay, this constricts your eyes from dilating properly, and you just can't. It does. There's chemical things that happen, so you can't see as faint. This is the reason why drunk drivers don't drive very well at night. Okay, they also don't drive very well in the day. Don't drink and drive. But,
I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah. But let's move on.
All right, so Scott, I wanted to show some pictures from the Arizona Dark Sky Star Party from 2019. And
Okay.
so, just that's coming up September 21 through 25 in Oracle, Arizona. And tickets are on sale now, and we're, there's a limited supply because we don't want it to become this huge, massive event. So, it's middle of June, so we've got, 4 months to go roughly? And want people to think about it. So, Paul, you want to bring up some pictures?
Give me just a second.
1001.
Sorry. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get this to fit in so we can see the
So-
entire picture.
So,
And
so
you
the Star
guys.
Party. So the Star Party is just show the pictures. You don't have to show
Which
us.
one do you want to see?
Just show the picture. There we go. Number 1, Paul. They're numbered 1 through 13.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Sorry.
That's not number 1. There's number 1, and that is our good friend Mike Weisner, who happens to live in Oracle, Arizona, and he was a committee chairman for the International Dark Sky Association, and he was given a talk on light pollution back in the 2019 version. I suspect he will be a speaker again this time, and he has lots of expertise on many things. So, photo number 2, and Scott, weigh in on anything. That picture that we're seeing right there.
I'm sending them the in chat the link for the eyepiece selection guide. How to choose
And
each
this-
eyepiece.
Yep, here's slide number 2. This is Jack Newton, who, Jack giving a talk on one of his many eclipse chasing expeditions.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the story of that specific photo, but maybe it was in Africa if I remember correctly. But
That is a long time ago. Yeah.
yes, because that's him right there if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's him sitting
kneeling
down,
on the
or
right.
kind of
That's
squatted
him
down behind his telescope.
squatted down. Yep.
Not the one off of the background, but the one in the foreground. That's him.
Mm-hmm. So, speakers are a big part of it because we want, to offer interesting programs and world-renowned experts in their fields, and we're working on the lineup still. Scott, is there anybody
Right.
you want to reveal that's going to be speakers? I mean, we haven't talked about that very much.
Well, some people that are strongly considering being there would be Ruskin Hartley from the International Dark Sky Association. For those of you who are astrophotographers, we are looking at Adam Block. There are other astrophotographers. Simon Tang will be there. He's going to talk about solar imaging. We have Vivian White from Night Sky Network is supposed to be there. So, we go through a process. We've already done kind of a preliminary, hey, do you want to give talks? Some of these people may only come in virtually because it will be a blended event. This is going to give you a chance, if you can't go to this star party in person, okay, you know, and there'll be reasons why you will want to go, but if you can't, then at least for these lectures that we're going to have, you're going to be able to share the experience. You're going to be able to ask questions like you are right now, because that will, you know, on that Thursday, we will be broadcasting from the Biosphere too. So,
which is going to be the bunking accommodations for
yeah, it's
one
like
option.
If you're staying at Biosphere 2, there is you can go to the lectures without actually going to staying in the casitas that's there. But if you go to the page, you will see a link to the casitas if you're looking for places to stay. There's some amazing, you know, like ranch house type guest ranch house places that you can stay at. One of them is a new one called the COD Ranch. And COD has, it's a bed and breakfast type of thing, and it's only like 3 miles away from the actual park itself. So, you know, if you're not going to camp in a tent on the ground at Oracle State Park, you might want to stay in a place like this.
And travel back and forth. Right.
And travel back and forth. You know, Biosphere 2 is a 10-mile drive. You know, again, that's really quick, 10 minutes. This other drive would be literally the next gate over. You go out of the park, you turn, you go up to where your room would be. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Next photo, Paul. Talking about astrophotographer. Here we are with Robert Weiss giving
and his wife there.
Right, Christina
from the 2019.
Right, they had a couple of telescopes set up and were doing different methods of astrophotography and different objects, and they were demonstrating to the crowd how their rig worked, and very good time. And so there's that.
Mike Weisner is watching. He said he's going to be giving a talk on smartphone astrophotography.
Okay,
so that will definitely happen.
Okay, listen to this.
That on the 17th of December, 1965,
it's really faint.
I pointed my 8-inch reflector at Castor, and I comet hunted between Castor and Pollux for 10 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, that was not loud enough to hear.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, it's not. That's a video through my iPhone.
I was given this like
30 minutes before the broadcast.
Right, but I had other stuff I had to get.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it again. You know, next time
we'll come back to it.
Yeah, but this is a cool. It's technically a video, but with David Levy and then other people talking about what they're doing. You know.
Right.
I can turn it up here. Let me grab the
main thing is that you're going to be in really dark skies. There is the city of Oracle, or the township of Oracle, is going to turn out with musicians, artists. There will be more to do than just going to a star party, which going to a star party is a blast for us that are astronomers. But if you're not an astronomer and you're not really interested, but you're married to an astronomer, you know, there will be stuff to do for you.
This is a great spouse event. If, like my wife, if she wasn't teaching in school, you know, she'd love to come to something like this, because it's more than just looking at the stars and having lectures, and there's going to be plenty of fun things to do for sure.
Right.
So, all right, Paul's going to go on with some pictures.
So I got the audio if you want to hear it.
Yeah, if you can make it louder, go ahead.
I can.
That was the first comet hunt I ever did.
Wow. That was session number 1.
No, that was the first comet hunting session I ever did. December 17th, 1965, over 50 years ago.
Wow.
So what's going on here, guys, right now?
Right now, the sky is punching us in the face. We're kind of focused on Orion and just kicking around, having a great night, solving all the world's problems.
I can imagine where it is, but I can't really see it.
And you're trying to do what?
The horse head.
The horse head with a H-alpha filter?
Beta.
Or H-beta?
But this is what, 6 or 8? This is 8-inch.
Yep.
So
And Scott and David and Ed are all married to Wendy's.
Yeah.
So,
So
that should be on the record.
there's that.
Yeah, there is that thing going for us.
And
So.
Trevor, what do you got to say?
I
Well,
like your idea of a little club.
I'm just
married to a Wendy.
having a magical time. I mean, I'm imaging NGC 253 right now
For the last 3 hours?
for the last 5 hours, actually,
Yep.
with
Yeah, the flight was great.
Explore Scientific
So that's
127 FCD 100, and it's
That's the same
working
one I used
flawlessly.
on,
I'm hanging out with some lovely people, and
so
I'm just
if I put it
dumbstruck
to a
by
filter
my
wheel
experience
on
here
this,
out at
where does
the
it go?
Arizona
I don't think
Dark
You wouldn't even
Sky
bother.
Star
No,
Party.
no.
ACC 253
with-
is
They,
actually
somebody makes it.
nicknamed.
I don't know much about.
Well,
The other
aside
thing,
from
the other thing that,
the
that's also great about this particular event, is that we give gifts to everybody that shows up. We're going to take you into Biosphere 2. You're going to get a tour of Biosphere 2 on the inside. And we have door prizes. We'll have thousands of dollars worth of door prizes at the event. So, as far as the Star Party goes, you're going to have top-end speakers. You're going to have, hopefully 4 pristine nights. I did the calculations of looking at the history of, fractional cloud cover, also precipitation and temperature ranges and stuff. So if you look at the web page, do you want to throw that up, Paul? Here, let me see if I can get you a link.
You want the eyepiece page again?
No. The Mount Wilson, or excuse me, not the Mount Wilson, the Arizona Dark Sky Star Party page.
All right, hang on, let me grab it.
So we had 4 nights in 2019 of absolute spectacular skies.
Perfect nights. Yeah.
4 perfect nights in a row. And, there was just a group of, I guess, 8 or 10 people out there observing, and you just have intimate access to people like David Levy and the other people who are going to be there, which makes it really special.
Is it from the Mount Wilson
the,
Observatory
link.
page?
Okay,
No,
so
it's the Arizona.
Paul, I just put into chat. Here, I can do it also on our broadcast chat here. Let's do that.
Yeah.
And if you show this page, Paul, here you go.
All right.
Technology is spectacular.
Let me grab it. And then I can put it up in the Kansas copy.
You find it,
I think
Paul?
what Scott's getting.
Yeah.
I think what Scott's going to show you is it's going to probably be clear in September in Arizona.
Yeah, I was. Paul, can you log in on that, or do you want me to do it?
Here
I'll do it.
is
I'll do
here.
it. You just bring me a full screen here, okay?
No, I've got it.
You got it? Okay.
It just takes, takes a second.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go.
Move you around a little bit here, Scott.
If you scroll down
See it?
the page,
Let me
Yep.
move you real quick.
it's not full screen. Once you bring it up full screen.
Put you over here and down here. There's Mr. Scott on the bottom now. All right. You need it bigger than that, Scott?
That's just the poster.
Okay.
Go down to where the data is. There we go. Go down the web page.
Scroll down or up, depending
I
on
feel
which way
like,
you look at
it's
it.
like I'm feeling my way around the dark. Go scroll down.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. Okay, here we go. All right, so you see this. It says about Oracle State Park, and you see this kind of scroll down a little bit more. There you go. All right, you can see this kind of map here. This is from a website where like fanatical eclipse chasers go after, and what they want to know, eclipse chasers also want to know, was it clear? How much precipitation was there over several years? And this is a average from 20-year average from the year 2000 to 2020. And the areas where it's blue, okay, which you can see the coast of California, you can see Arizona there, in the western United States. Of course, this is the whole world, but it is blue there, okay, and that means clear. And if you look down, I did the last year's most recent data information for temperature and precipitation from September of 2021, and there was 2 days, and last year on September 23rd, they had 0.05 inches of rain, and then they had on September 25th 0.03. This probably happened in the afternoon, and that probably got clouds, drizzled a little bit, clouds disappeared, and then it was clear again. So that's the best information I could pull together. Any star party could, of course, get clouded out, but this is short of us going to the Atacama Desert in Chile. This is probably going to be our best shot for clear skies.
And if you've never been to the desert before,
we're not going to Death Valley.
64 degrees in the desert, because the humidity is so low, is cold. And, you need to bring some prepared to be colder.
Certainly after you've been hanging out in high 80s or 90-degree weather during the day. Mm-hmm. You get acclimated to that, and then you get a 30-degree drop, so.
Yes. Quite a shock. Okay, so let's move on to some pictures here.
Yeah, so we talked about the Biosphere tours, and then you scroll down some more and we say what's not included. Okay. What's not included is your accommodations, okay? Now, you can camp at Oracle State Park, and a lot of people love that. People come from around the world to go to Oracle State Park and do some camping. These are the Casita dormitories at Biosphere 2. They're nice, okay? Mike Weisner, who's our man on the ground there, he went into the Casitas. They're like apartment buildings, but each individual room has its own lock, and you're sharing. It's like a shared home, okay? Each room is double occupancy, and for the entire duration of that stay for the star party, it would be $512. Which is $120 actually in the area, because most rooms are renting, $150 to $250 a night. So that's pretty good. You will share a bathroom in the casita, but if there are men and women sharing the house, then they can decide which of the bathrooms is going to be the boys' bathroom, which one's going to be the girls' bathroom, I guess. They'll be up to them. These are not hotels, okay? So there's, this is not a scenario where you can say, oh, I need more towels, I need more this, I need more that. When you get in, that's what you get, okay? No one's going to come in and make up your bed.
There's no laundry service.
So, right. But the advantage is that you're going to be close to the park, and it's going to be lower cost. It's dormitory type living. If you want something better, then you will go to the like the ranches, the bed and breakfast, and there's a link there to visit Oracle, and that page is actually getting updated with the latest information about guest ranches and Airbnbs and that kind of thing. So,
Scott, you're not talking about hotels. There's a reason for that.
There are no hotels.
The closest. That's right. There are no hotels. The closest one's going to be in Tucson, 45 miles away.
Right. Yeah. But there's enough casitas to accommodate almost everybody that would be going to the Arizona Dark Sky Star Party, so that's fine. Right. Beatrice had a question here. She wanted to know, when is Jerry Hubbell coming back on the Explorer Line shows? I have been in touch with him. Jerry had medical issues. He's recovered. He's doing very well, and we expect Jerry to probably be on one of the programs here in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, but I'll let him know that you're thinking about him, Beatrice. So thanks a lot.
He's had plenty of work to do too.
He has had lots of work to do. That's right. That's right.
So
Mike says that there's a hotel in
25. Yeah, Catalina's about half an hour drive away.
Well, if
Okay.
you go fast, it's only 15 minutes.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. It depends on
Okay,
how fast you
Paul,
drive.
let's show some more pictures here real quick. Now this is from Palomar
But the
Observatory,
point is,
but
we're
it
going
gives
to take you out to where it's dark, and so you're not going to a metropolis. Okay, so
right. That's exactly why I included this picture. This is, I've never been to Oracle, but I'm sure it's fairly representative of what we're going to see. It's fairly long ways away, but you see, it's just not much out there. Okay, Paul,
Right.
next photo. So tourism options. We went to Tombstone just because we did. I wish we would have gone to Bisbee instead because now this is going to be a long drive away from Oracle.
Yeah.
It's probably an hour. We were at Benson last year, or in 2019. And this is an hour drive south of there, so it'll be.
yeah, you need to add about 2
1, 2,
hours more
Yeah.
to get out.
I'd say it's going to be a
these sites.
3-hour drive. But
Yeah.
the point of it is there's cool things to do out there that are touristy and things like that. So, and architecture, we had a field day walking around with shapes and shadows and textures, just shooting pictures. Go on to the next one, Paul. Just fascinated. Just loved the architecture that we had. And here is
That's
Fred
Fred
Espenak.
Right now, Fred
And
Espenak thinks that he will either be there in person or he will come in as a virtual speaker on Zoom, like we do our Global Star Party. But yeah, he should be one of the speakers at the Arizona Dark Sky Star Party.
So if you don't know Fred Espenak, you can go to his website. I believe it's MrEclipse.com that he maintains. It has massive knowledge of eclipses and has been to every eclipse since, I don't remember when, but dozens and dozens and dozens of eclipses. And the picture shows you a really good idea of what an annular eclipse will look like through eclipse glasses. And so you can see there that there's what's called the ring of fire around the moon. So I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. And I can't remember who this was. Do you recognize them, Scott?
Let's see.
Oh, that's Scott. Just sitting there outside of the visitor
one of the people
center.
that was at the Star Party. I can't.
Yeah.
The picture's not large enough. It's not.
Yeah. So here's a picture of. Is that David? Paul Scott's in the way of the speaker.
I'm moving.
Yeah, I can't see.
Just cover me
Still
up,
can't
whatever.
It's me talking.
This is hard.
Yeah, that's David.
Saying.
So
That's David Levy.
that's David during one of the speeches.
Yeah.
Doing this on the fly is hard.
It is hard, isn't it?
And you're good at it. All right, so going on, we're close to the end now. There's
This-
David Levy
Paul's
signing his books.
experiencing what Global Star Party participants go through,
Yes,
So
that's David
yeah,
Levy
you
signing
sign
one of
some
his books.
We can still have some book signings when you're out there. Mike Weisner will be there. You can buy his book right now from our website, and Mike will be happy to give you a signed edition of that. So
There's the
that's,
group shot taken. Yep.
yeah, that's not everybody, but it's most everybody that was at the first first Arizona Dark Sky Star Party, and we had a lot of fun. It was great, so.
Really
And
was.
it's just I like the feeling of the Arizona air, and just kind of the crispness of all of that. There's a ton of stuff to do in Arizona. Tucson's close by. There's lots of stuff to do in Tucson. And if you like a desert type of environment, you'll be there in September when it's not so hot. It's just a good time to be in that region.
Trying to get
It's
everybody in.
And you're going to get a giant dose of the Milky Way while you're out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So anyway, just I would show a few pictures of what
That
it's
looks
like.
like Camp Marts over there. Oh, and
That is
Scott
Camp
Roberts
Marts
is
over
there
there.
too.
A younger Scott
And David
Roberts and a
Levy,
younger.
and Egon and Russ, and all of our friends are here, so it was cool.
There's Martha beside David with
Martha
her son
Farkas,
coming down in.
Yep.
Coming in from Canada for
Mhm.
it. She's already registered.
Mike
There's
Weisner,
probably-
he's right there too. I see him.
Yep. He's just
Jim
off
Norwood.
to your right shoulder.
Uh-huh.
Jim Norwood tells me I need to tune up my zoom knob because
Awesome.
it's shaky.
What's up next?
Because there's only one way to do it in this when I'm doing
That's
it
click,
live.
click, click,
You
click.
need
That's
to
the end of it.
move
I
that
thought,
zoom knob, Paul.
so that's it. That's the group, Scott. And just saw there was a picture of just so many good people. You make good friends. Spend 4 or 5 days with them. It's awful nice. So Pekka, I have Mike's biography book and as well as Mike's autograph on a letter that goes further to my grandkids. That's from
Nice.
Pekka in Sweden. Yeah.
Thanks, Pekka.
All right, so it's if you're gonna go, you need to get registered and get your travel arrangements hammered out. And
Yep.
staying at Biosphere is a really good option. It's close.
Right.
Hopefully, it's a easy drive away. Or if you're comfortable camping, bring a tent and camp in the park. They'll have restrooms
Oh, yeah.
and I believe there's water available.
The thing that's really cool about this, we've been under pandemic lockdown for 2 years, okay? I know that fuel costs have gone up, in some cases a lot, okay? But still, nevertheless, we're not talking about an event that, or an opportunity that comes around like this all the time. So we hope to make this an annual event. It will be a little different every time we do it. So that's the other part. We like a lot of the things that the University of Arizona is doing in astronomy and telescope making, and there's observatories galore out there. And if you can at all make it, we definitely recommend being out there. All of you that are in Bortle 7, 8, and 9 skies who are tired of it and really want to see get your dose of dark skies with Milky Way. You're going to love this. So,
If you have never seen a dark sky before, I'm going to tell you the first night the sun goes down, you're going to be lost because you can't find the constellations because there's too many stars. It's a weird effect. You'd think you'd be able to see the constellations, but the constellations are the brightest stars and all the other stars are gone. But when you put all the other stars on top, it's like, where is everything? And it literally is an overwhelming experience the first time it gets dark. If you've never been to a dark sky site, it's a very, by overwhelming, I mean, it's in a good way. Just amazing.
Overwhelming in that you can't find the constellations anymore because there's so many stars.
Because there's so many stars. That's exactly right. And another, the Mount Wilson Star Party is coming up. Scott, the registration's getting almost full because that's limited to 25. And registration is approaching the maximum number. So if you're considering that, go ahead and get that done because we want you to get in on it. And we want to fill it up too, right?
Yeah, and no scalping tickets. No scalping tickets, folks. You can buy it as a gift for somebody, but I prefer you didn't scalp the tickets.
And then we're talking about 2 more Crossroads of the Eclipse of Star Parties in October for the annular, and then April for the total. And what we offer is a really comprehensive star party, because you can get there 3 days ahead of time, I think is what we're talking about for each one, and actually enjoy Bortle 2 skies, marginal maybe, depending on what the weather's like, maybe high Bortle 2, but looking to the west and north, you're looking into Bortle 1 skies, where we're going to be, and it's going to be north of Lakey, Texas, on a private ranch, and it's going to be dry camping, but boy, it's going to be dark, and lots of star parties over the years have had dry camping, so it's nothing new, but it's going to be a star party event, so you can do astronomy at night, and then the day of the eclipse, enjoy the eclipse, and then not feel the need to leave. Stay with us the next night, and we don't charge by the night. It's just $150 to get in. No, what is it? Not 150. 500. Is that what we set the price at, Scott?
600. It's going to be $600.
$600.
For the total
$600.
Event. That is going to be about the price for one night in a Motel 6. Okay.
That's the experience that we know from Casper, from the eclipse of 2017.
Probably less than what a Motel 6 will be, because we saw Motel 6s during the 2017 eclipse go for $800 a night. Okay, so
I know people that made reservations a year out.
Yeah,
and then 2 months before the eclipse,
right?
They were canceled. Absolutely, they canceled.
Not by them, by the people that own the motels and the hotels.
Correct. Yep. And they said, "Oh, you can have it back for $600 a night," type of thing. And
exactly.
So the beauty of what we offer is just stay there with no pressure to leave, because there's going to be a massive traffic jam in Texas.
Yes.
No matter where you are, there's going to be a traffic jam. So just stay another night, enjoy another night of good viewing, and then get up the next day and leave with all the traffic dissipated and go about your business. Mm-hmm. So get to planning that as well.
We got gas today in Oracle, and it's still under $5 a gallon. I was talking to my daughter in California. The average price in where she lives in California, I'm looking on the website right now for gas prices, AAA, I think it's the AAA website, insurance website, it's saying $6.40, but where she lives, sometimes it's over $7 a gallon. So, you get out to Arizona, fuel's going to be less expensive out that way, kind of like Arkansas prices, so which is great. Right now, we're in that range too, Mike. So
I filled up last night at 447, I think it was, something like that.
That's pretty good. I have a diesel truck, and my fuel price is $5.09. So compare that to regular gas prices out there, and it can be high.
We have to pay him at least minimum wage. Pekka says when he retires, he's going to work for you for free.
Okay.
At least pay a minimum wage.
We have a retired guy's internship, So.
All right, so
fun to have Pekka here.
Yeah. Oh, Pekka can make it one day. So there's a picture of Mike from the mid-1980s playing an electronic keyboard. What are you looking for, Scott?
Oh, that's Mike Overacker.
Oh, and Mike, look at the cloud cover in Erie, Pennsylvania in April, and decide if that's where you want to be. Not that it's, although it could be clear there and cloudy.
At the website. I know that people will love this. There is, this is called the Eclipsophile website.
The center line of the eclipse is an hour, 20-minute drive from here. Really easy to get to from here if we wanted to, but we're all going south because April in Arkansas equals clouds in Arkansas. And the farther south we get, the better chance we have of getting cloud-free skies. And honestly, if we could, I'd advocate going down into central Mexico. But
Scott's going to pay for that, right?
What's that?
The trip to Central Mexico.
Central Mexico? Sure.
Almost guaranteed to be clear skies there, but you're
I
still in
don't know
central
that. I'm
Mexico.
not so sure. I don't know. I have no idea.
You're still in central Mexico.
If you look at the Eclipsophile website and global cloudiness by month, okay, it shows daytime cloud and nighttime cloud, and they are slightly different. But if we look at April, and this is 20 years of data, it does show Mexico, like western.
I'm working on it.
Western Mexico will definitely be clear.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
But so if you went to like Southwest Mexico as the eclipse is coming up, okay, that would be a pretty good shot at very, very clear weather. As you start to move across the United States, it thins out a little bit. But we know how dry Texas can get, and we're expecting that's our best shot here in the USA. So
where is this at?
I think Paul's saying something, but I can't hear him.
Where
says,
do
"Where's
I
this
need to look
at?"
on the website?
Okay, scroll down.
Okay.
Scroll down. Keep going. There you go. Now you got little thumbnail pictures, right? That shows daytime cloud and nighttime cloud. Each one of those photos is a 20-year average of cloud cover.
So pick April. Click on
There's
April and see if it
April.
blows up.
And do the daytime one. That's going to be on the left-hand side.
So click April, Paul.
March, April, left hand.
There you go.
And once again, Scott's in the way. No, not really. He's not
There
actually.
you go.
Now,
That's what you should
zoom
show.
in on the U.S.
So
Zoom in
red
on
is
the US.
100% cloud cover. Blue, dark blue is 0% cloud cover. So you can see,
Texas is
Mexico down at that time, down towards the coast. There you go. That's almost guaranteed to be clear. Okay.
So keep going, and I'll show you where we're going to be roughly. Woo! The world got turned on its side.
That's what happens whenever I get fooling around with it.
There you go. That's a good shot of it.
So if you see that blue, the blue part of Texas, we're on the edge of the blue part. So where we're going to be, I mean, it's out there. It's got pretty good blue in there, Scott, wouldn't you say? Wish I had a mouse. So Paul,
I
put your
would
mouse
say
up
that if
there.
you're going to be in the United States, this is
Texas.
the place to go to see the total eclipse. That's what I would say.
Okay, put your mouse on.
I'm pretty
on the
sure
blue.
we know where Texas is.
The other thing I'm going to
I want to show
say
you where Leaky
about
is.
about
Leaky.
eclipses is that the weather can change during an eclipse pretty fast, like within minutes. And, because the temperature's dropping because of the shadow, you got the shadow racing 1,000 miles an hour across the land, and weird stuff happens, Weird stuff happens where it was once clear can be cloudy, and where it was once cloudy, it can be clear. So, in the 1991 eclipse that I went to in Mauna Kea, Hawaii, the Big Island, Hawaii, it was weird because portions of the island just immediately clouded over, where everybody was thinking they were like at resorts and stuff like that, and they were all set up to observe the total eclipse, spent big bucks to be there. And, and they just saw this giant cloud deck come in suddenly.
Sudden
And other areas that
condensation,
were
basically.
cloudy actually cleared up. I was at 14,000 feet, so we got clear skies.
I checked.
You were saying?
Mike says I checked in with my fortune teller, and she says I am good for that day in Erie. Well, Mike, let's hope the tea leaves are correct. For
Let's
you.
also, Mike.
Yep.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
Jeff
And Jeff-
used the tea leaves.
Yep, there we go. Canada will be cloudy. Yes. Jeff, you're welcome to come. We have a
I
spot
looked
for
into
you.
the Spot WX web page.
I have no
I've heard that's a good web page to go for weather predictions. Yes. Excellent.
All right.
I
We
think that's what we
spent
got
our
for you
hour, Scott.
today.
Yeah.
We had a great star party last night, the 97th Global Star Party, and I am supposed to go to Mount Wilson this month, and so depending on what my travel schedule looks like, I may or may not be doing next week's Global Star Party on that Tuesday. So I will update you and let you know exactly what's happening there. But we're getting close to the 100th event, and we're going to do some cool things. Jeff Wise, are the tickets available yet? I assume you're talking about the Eclipse, Crossroads of the Eclipse Star Party. Not yet. We're going to be posting that here pretty soon. So maybe I have a page up today or tomorrow.
I'm not sure what Pekka is getting at here, but okay.
Show the smoking pipe.
Did he email you the picture of his telescope?
That's what he's after. Yes, I do have them, actually. Let me find it.
I just interpreted Swedish
Jeff White
English.
says, Scott, that was the best presentation by Chuck ever. We should have Chuck do a whole show on the
I've got to
bubble
watch
universe.
it first before I can show it.
Yeah.
God,
Chuck Allen was bending our brains last night. He really was. It
How?
was crazy.
What was Chuck doing? What was he doing to bend your brains?
What's that?
What was he doing to bend your brain?
He was talking about the distance scale of the universe, and we were going out past, what is, he brought up that we can see further, to a further distance than the age of the universe.
Right, because of expansion.
Right. But he also got to how far out we can see, but if there was a supernova explosion, would we ever see that light ever hit us? And these galaxies that we can still see basically are kind of like frozen in time because they're too far out. Visually.
So the video came through weird and something to do with the codec, but I was able to get it working. I think he caught it on fire.
Look at that.
Well, something is there smoking.
Wow.
So that's a diagonal on his telescope. Yeah.
Is it smoke or is it dust?
I'm not sure.
It looks like
Well,
smoke.
if you can smell it, then there it is. Let's
Yeah,
see.
if you can smell burning plastic or hot plastic.
Beatrice Hines says, I was thinking about Mount Wilson today. Scott, I've seen a documentary about Los Angeles on German television. That's how it came up on Mount Wilson. That's cool.
Yeah, watching that video, that's definitely, I'm thinking that's smoke coming out of there.
I call those kinds
It's
of
clearly
things
coming out.
entanglement, Beatrice.
Yeah,
You're
Pekka
thinking about
says
one
it
thing,
is
suddenly
smoke.
it shows up on television, or you meet somebody, or you get a phone call, or,
Yep,
Yeah, you
entanglement,
could definitely light
coincidence.
something there. You could start a campfire with that light. That's for sure.
Scott, we need to get that video loaded on Paul's computer of you using eclipse glasses at the eyepiece.
I might have it.
Where
Let
you-
me see.
Yeah, it's just basically when you use a telescope to look at the moon without any and focus the eyepiece, you've effectively created a laser. A sunlight. Yeah, to look at use a telescope to look at the sun. The moon. Yeah, well, sometimes it feels like it. Sometimes on a bright moon. No, you look at the sun with a telescope and focus it, and you have created a ginormous magnifying glass, and it might as well just be a laser. How instantly it just vaporizes the solar filter, and Scott produced that after being asked about it by experienced observers, wondering and asking, "Can I use eclipse glasses and then look through my telescope? And the answer is a resounding 100% no, because this video will show you exactly the damage you'll do to the eclipse glasses.
When you're going to take it, Scott, and I'll take your screen.
Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, this is it right here. 106,000 views. Why you should not use eclipse glasses to look through a telescope or binoculars.
Yeah, I need to go
There
back
we
and
go.
look that
I'll
first
share it in
slide.
chat. Here we go.
Just, yes, put it up on your screen there for us to see. And
All right,
got
I'll
it.
do that. Here we go. Of course, there's that commercial over on top of it.
Sure.
You got it?
Oh, okay. We can do that. Let's see. Grab this here.
Of course, the eclipse is not here yet, but I wanted to take a few minutes.
Not seeing it, Paul.
That's Scott's.
The filters that we use is the.
Okay.
You said you wanted me to put it up here, right?
Yeah, I'm not seeing it, Scott.
Yeah, I'm just streaming it from YouTube.
Right, but it's not on our screen.
It's not coming across. Okay.
No.
Let me see if I can share something here.
Technology is great when it works.
It's great when it works.
Heck, it's great when it doesn't work, too, if you can get it to work.
But it works.
I do not see how to share,
If,
but I
if
did share the.
your
link.
eCam, you should just put it up as your camera like you had before we started the show, and I could play it from
Yeah,
there.
but I don't have the video. I don't have
Oh.
the file. Okay,
So it's
It's up on
embedded in
YouTube.
YouTube.
it's in YouTube.
Yeah, just send me an email with the link, and I'll put it up. I can get it immediately.
All right. It is kind of.
Just send me
Well.
the link in the email.
It's going to cost you, Paul.
Well, it's not going to cost me.
There we go.
Oh, Paul.
I've
What?
got your credit card. Let's see. There we go, Paul.
Good luck buying a burrito with that.
Video of eclipse glasses. I imagine we'll be showing this video a few more times
Yeah.
because,
Download it for a while.
yeah, could you?
Yeah.
It's an important video.
All right.
It'll become much more important as time goes by. We get close to the eclipse. And Scott, we're maybe a month or a month and a half out of having our first bulk order of eclipse glasses come in, Robert told
Yeah.
me. So
Yeah.
we're getting our first eclipse glasses, and now we're only selling them in bundles of 50 or 100. We're not selling individual eclipse glasses this year. Talk about the eclipse.
Our dealers,
Our dealers will sell them singles, but Explore Scientific's not going to sell
well,
singles.
even our dealers, I've talked to some of them already. They're not going to sell them in singles either. Okay.
So explain what happened at Eclipse-ageddon.
Eclipse-ageddon happened because certain Chinese manufacturers had made counterfeit eclipse glasses that were not safe, and they flooded the market on Amazon. So, Amazon didn't have like any kind of testing verification on what was being sold. And so, if you just know how to sell on Amazon, you could sell on Amazon. And that's what happened. So roughly $60 million in eclipse glasses sold. Not all of them counterfeit, but a lot of them. In fact, so many of them that Amazon couldn't figure out who were the good guys and who the bad guys were. So if it was an eclipse glass sold on Amazon, they refunded all the money and basically told I guess, told everybody to throw their eclipse glasses away.
Right.
That was $50 million in eclipse glass sales 3 weeks before the event. So I get called by national news media and stuff like that. Explore Scientific is on this short list of recommended eclipse suppliers. Okay, like with a dozen other guys. So that was from the American Astronomical Society website. We had done everything correctly. In fact, we weren't even selling them on Amazon. And but what happened is that all the attention now, all these people that bought $60 million worth of eclipse glasses looked at these 12 suppliers, okay, and ordered in a panic at the last second. In one day, Explore Scientific received 35,000 separate orders for eclipse glasses.
And there's 3 people working in the warehouse. Yeah.
Needless to
Three
say,
people.
There wasn't during that time. We had the warehouse was
Okay,
filled with people. We hired, I think there was like 40 people working here at that time.
about 10 hours later, there was 40 people back there.
Yeah, but it was an impossibility. It was like a tidal wave that hit you with orders.
Even my predecessor was out there doing that.
Mm-hmm. Everybody, it was all hands on deck. Everybody in customer service, everybody in marketing, everybody that did anything at Explore Scientific was out there pulling orders and shipping orders. Okay, it was crazy.
Crashed our front end systems, crashed the computer systems. It was just, I wasn't here then, but I was in the building, and from the outside, it was
our e-commerce
to
website,
ship what they shipped.
Yeah, our e-commerce, and we ship millions of eclipse glasses. But
you ready?
And guys, I have to go. All right, I have another meeting here, so I have to go.
See you, Scott. Okay.
Take care.
See you,
Bye-bye.
Scott. We'll run this video and knock off. So go ahead and run the video.
So it's a beautiful
Paul, here we go.
sunny day, and we have our refractor out, and I've got my eclipse glasses on, and I've got my safe solar filter. Of course, the eclipse is not here yet, but I wanted to take a few minutes just to show you some things about solar filter safety. The filters that we use is the Thousand Oaks material. It is rated to the highest ISO standards, and actually independently tested by us as well. So just to make sure that those standards are met. So if you're going to use a telescope to look at the partial phases, and let me underline partial phases to you. You use eclipse glasses to observe the sun in partial phases when it's in total. If you're going to be on the path of totality, you can take the glasses off, and only during that time, which is going to be roughly 2 minutes this time on August 21st, only during that time can you directly look up at where the sun is, because it's completely blocked out. You'll see the corona, you'll see lots of really cool effects they'll leave you speechless. But during all the partial phases, you have to have safe solar filtration. So how do you do it properly? Let me show you. First off, let's show you what you shouldn't do. What you shouldn't do is put on eclipse glasses and look through the telescope that's unfiltered. And I'll show you exactly why here. We're going to point the telescope directly at the sun. And right now, we have sunlight coming right through the eyepiece. I can turn that up a little bit. If you use solar glasses and look right at the filter material, you see it's already burning. It's burning a hole right through the solar filter material. That is how powerful a telescope is. So this is definitely something you don't want to do. You can now see that there is a hole through there, and that could be your eye. So this is what can happen if you think that you can use eclipse glasses to look through unfiltered telescopes or binoculars. If you do that, the sun's energy is going to burn right through the filter and burn right into your eye. So if you're going to use a telescope or a pair of binoculars to watch the partial phases of a total eclipse, or just to observe the sun to look for sunspots or something like that, make sure that you are using an over-the-lens solar filter that has the proper ISO safety rating and all of that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this filter on, it's you can see how snugly it's fitting here. This is not about to come off, but you know, if you have a loose fitting filter, use tape. Do anything that you can to make sure that the filter is not going to come off. And then the other thing is too is that finder scopes, optical finder scopes are like little telescopes, and they need to be filtered as well. In this case, I just have a red dot finder. There is no magnifying power to it, so I'm not going to use it to sight the sun in. The way I'm going to sight in the sun is literally as I'm going to look down at the shadow and align the scope up so I'm getting the smallest shadow possible of the telescope as it's hitting the ground. And now I can safely look at the sun in comfort and look at sunspots, and if we have partial phases going on in the eclipse, I'll see them all.
This is a real B&H customer story.
And there you go. That's why you shouldn't use eclipse glasses on the wrong end of your telescope. So we can make those sun catcher solar filters that Scott put on the front of the telescope to fit. There we go. That wasn't me. That was me, but not my name. Yeah, that was Paul messing around over there and having fun.
Replace the photo. It didn't work.
Yep. So anyway, you know, we have the solar safe filters, the sun catcher. You're going to order them from us. If you don't know what size you need to order, just contact us through our customer service portal at explorescientific.com and tell us what your telescope is, and we'll ask some questions and make sure you get the correct one. Solar safe. Now, you saw how Scott had to work to put it on at the end of the telescope. You want it to be on there like that, so you have to really work to get it on there. If you can just slip it on and slip it off, it will. A little gust of wind or somebody bump it or come by and pull it off, and whoever's at the eyepiece is going to pay the price. And so you want that to stay on there really well. So anyway, I don't have access to the telescope lover.
Yes, you're a telescope lover.
Yeah.
See?
Telescope lover. I see that. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today and giving us some of your time. We really appreciate it and are just happy to do these shows so we can connect with our customers and hear their thoughts. Harold Locke says, thanks, everyone. Have a great night. Clear skies. It takes a little while for these to process up. Jim Norwood, can you say telescope lover on air? I think we've done it 3 or 4 times now. So I think everybody here may be a lover of telescopes. Beatrice is exactly right. Paul behind the scenes has a wee bit of fun. Absolutely. And Beatrice says, thanks very much, Kent. Hey, we love doing
What's
it. Thank
life
you, Beatrice,
if you can't enjoy it, Kent?
just a wee bit. Sometimes it's just, you know, life. What can I say? Enough waxing philosophy. Let's go ahead and end the show.
On the Hunt. On the Hunt is coming up.
Yep.
On the Alpen channel here in about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and that's with Rick White, who is a pro staff for our other brand, which there's a spotting scope behind you.
Yes, so, there's an Alpen spotting scope right there.
Yeah.
Right back there, yeah. Right? That looks like
and
the 20
I've got
to 80.
To prepare for that show.
Yep, that's a 20 to 60 by 60. We separate those because a lot of algorithms, if you have hunting things on your website, they downgrade you. So, Kevin Haber-Hager, thank you. Take care of everyone. And with that, I'm going to thank you for watching. We're going to sign off. Paul, get ready for his next show. We will see you tomorrow at 1:30 doing the On the Hunt, or excuse me, On the Wing. We're changing that format up a little bit. Yeah. We're going to do On the Wing at 1:30 and then into the Amazon Live broadcast. And then at 4 o'clock is going to be an Explorer Alliance show with Annie, changing the formats up just a little bit for a while. So bless you for joining us. Thank you very much, friends. Bye-bye.